200, how are you? This is for the week of June 17th, all right? And so we are transitioning now into something that maybe is a little bit more up your wheelhouse if you were a business major at USC. So we're going to be discussing from here forward the economic side of aging in not only in our country but aging globally. All right, and so you have enough background to now understand the dynamics of aging. Okay, that we have this shift in populations because people live longer because of reduced mortality. Okay, um, and the balance in all the generations such that the numbers of older people are beginning to dominate on a percentile basis. Okay, and that is in part due to a reduction in fertility over generations. So there's fewer younger people. People are living longer. Okay, and what is the economic upside downside of all this? Okay, we do know that as we get older, we've learned that it is an economic threat because of the burden of non-communicable diseases, okay, of slowing in our physical and cognitive abilities, and how are you going to be competitive in the workplace, okay? So that's kind of my little background right here. So we're going to go into our assignments. Okay, we're going to scroll down and we again see how it all builds now of everything you've been learning about population trends, um, the unfortunate big three of non-communicable disease that have humongous personal and financial impact on not only the individual but their entire family and also society. Okay, um, we look at as we do better in controlling diseases, that then we get into the issue of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so you can't win for losing in terms of longevity, and again, the personal, psychological, emotional impact this has on you as a caregiver. Okay, and also financially because of lost productivity. Alrighty. Um, so now let's look here at the economic issues, all right, that all this is associated with, okay? So this is a great article. So you just start by downloading this article, okay? And we can see it come up right there, okay? So again, a lot of this is old school for you now because you're a veteran in this class, okay? But when we're looking at this, we're looking at, again, global population aging. And now we can discuss it with respect to kind of a shot over the bow, and that was the Great Recession, the financial crisis of 2008. Okay, and we're looking at things like national debt. Okay, that is associated with paying for services that are specific to helping older populations. Okay, and these conflicting priorities of paying for those services, but we need to reduce the budget deficit. Okay, and we see again so much of our government spending is for care. Okay, for our older populations for these non-communicable diseases. Okay, alrighty. So we just kind of scroll down here through here. First part of the article is kind of reviewing what's going on in different regions of the world. Okay, and as we learned, okay, Europe had a long time to get there. Okay, all right. Um, they, however, did not prepare. Okay, and that's what this is all about right here. We can see this graphically, what's going on in terms of millions of people. Okay, and we see, in 2010, all right, what the distribution, worldwide distribution looked like right here. But we see because of longevity, there's a lot more older people, and as a result, there's fewer people down here to care for these older people. We see down here there were more people to care for fewer older people. All right. What are the drivers of this? We already talked about that. All right, people live longer. Okay, mortality is to die, and that is a falling in death rates, increase in longevity because we're doing healthy things. We have medical science to intervene and eliminate the natural selection, the killing off of the population that normally would be occurring. And then you couple that with reduced fertility. Okay, so that's what this is all about, and you've heard about this before. Okay, and so we had a couple of examples. Korea and Japan were the ones that were brought to the forefront in our previous chapters. And what is going on here? And this is just kind of a knowledge that you should have. And so we look at technological advances in the labor market. Okay. That have changed the cost benefit of having a marriage and child rearing. The bottom line is we're seeing that we're having a delay in all this. There's also even right here kind of a funny discussion about modern contraception means you've been able to uncouple, okay, reproduction from sexual activity, so you can have one without the other. And so that has changed things in terms of demography. Okay, alrighty. We see again this concept of falling mortality. Okay, people live longer. Okay, and the implications of this. Okay, and we're going to go over this in the discussion. All right. We again had Japan. Okay, as our canary in the coal mine. Okay, Japan as the kind of early society that showed the impact, okay, in terms of labor markets and things like that, okay. And so we see that again, when you have fewer young people and more older people, it's hard to find people to fill the jobs, especially the jobs that require lots of technical expertise, the ability to work long hours, all these kinds of things that older people unfortunately are not able to fill that void. Okay. Alrighty. So then it goes through all this, and it talks about again the trends. Okay. Old people live longer. Okay. And younger people having fewer children. And then these are some of the challenges. Okay. So we see this below replacement of population fertility. Okay. Increasing longevity. Right. And the combination of the two and what it does to economic growth. It causes a major concern for our labor markets, reduced economic growth, okay? When you have this imbalance, this top-heavy age group, it really begins to affect public welfare programs like, okay, these are also called entitlement programs, and things like Social Security and Medicare, but even more so if people have not saved, and we're going to talk about that in a second, and predicted their longevity in terms of their own resources, then they're more likely to also need care in terms of other social services like Medicaid and also just general welfare. All right, alrighty. So that's what's discussed all of this. Again, we're going to look at labor markets and financial concerns and the economic effects from having this. Okay, so you have fewer younger people. Okay, and that is, you see right here, the decline in the proportion of younger people is perceived to contribute to a reduction in economic activity. Okay, whereas, okay, and that's because the modern world needs modern expertise, okay, that older people are not necessarily going to be able to provide. And you combine that with the increasing economic burden of longevity, of disease, okay, of being able to finance old life, okay, and healthcare. All right, so these are big economic issues. All right. So it goes through all this right here in terms of what can be done. Okay. Education, skills, and training, okay, to maintain this productivity in the workplace. Can older people do this? Okay, that's a challenge, all right? To addressing the deficit, countries, okay, are trying to increase family-friendly policies so we have more childbearing, okay? You guys should have 2 or 3 kids already, believe it or not, okay? And then to increase immigration, okay, and not randomly, high-skilled immigration. That's the goal right there, okay? Okay, excuse me, I have some dust in my house and I really want to sneeze. And we can see again this shift that's going on in terms of less younger people, more older people, this demographic deficit. All righty. What can we do? A solution. You see this, if you get a job with a major healthcare corporation, we're promoting healthy living, okay? So we see right here, you have this increase in life expectancy, okay? Low income, lower to middle income, and high income. The rich live longer, okay? They have better healthcare, right? The question is, are we seeing an improvement in healthy life expectancy? And you are, okay? All right, so you can cut at the cost if people live healthier, and that's a big drive. However, raw numbers and frailty do not lie, and that's what that's all about right there. Okay, all righty, so the article ends with the craziness of you as an individual. You're going to have children late in life. Your parents are going to live much longer, and it really just kind of changes the dynamics of the family and the generations. Okay, many of you, especially out here in LA, have delayed your life transition. It's so expensive to live. You're getting married later in life. Okay. You're delaying childbirth, okay? And what does that all mean? Okay, so that's what this is all about right there. Awesome. So, and then there's just a kind of a concluding view about it. Very cool. All right. So that's the article that you read for here. The quiz is taken from there, and then we look at the impact, okay, this has on individuals. People live longer. They don't save well, so we do have a whole section coming up about investing in your retirement, okay? We're going to learn all about 401ks, about catch-up investments into your 401k or in your individual retirement accounts, about delaying retirement so that you're going to have greater Social Security dividends tossed your way when you get older. These are all issues, okay? If you have not saved well, then you have no choice but to get out there in the job market. And this is all the problems that we were seeing associated with this. A couple of short videos that discuss this right here, okay? And this is from a major economist right there. Okay, guys, so that is the story right there. Again, this is really kind of the business side of effects. So we're transitioning now in the course, so you have a better understanding of everything we've done up to this point and how it's going to affect global economy, U.S. economy, and your own personal economy. All right, so we'll see you next time.